Hey guys, it's Robin, what's up? And today we're going to be talking about how to stay organized at home. I know with coronavirus going around, a lot of us are now at home having to do work or studying. These are some tips I've just acquired as being an online student previously, how to organize your space to best benefit you, and just little things like that. So first of all, I would really appreciate if you guys would subscribe. So obviously down below is the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments what you want to see. Today we'll start out by talking about the different ways to organize yourself when you are at home. So I know that when you stumble upon these kind of videos, a lot of the things that they say are, have organization. But what does that really mean? So the first one, which may seem simplistic, but that is to get an agenda, okay? And I don't mean just like, okay, well, you can just pick one up from Walmart. They have a lot of good options. But what I would say, if you're really looking into getting organized, whether it's for school or work or anything in your life, find an agenda or a notebook or a planner or a bullet journal that like really works for your specific needs. This planner is probably, I hate to say this, probably one of the best planners I've ever owned. It actually took 2.5 months longer for me to get this planner than I intended. The quality isn't necessarily what I would want considering how much I paid for it, but what I use it for, it's very helpful. I love this planner because it has lots of different breakdown sections. So as you can first see here, so this is a monthly spread, and then if you flip directly over, it goes to a weekly spread. And what I like about this is it breaks it down in a lot of different sections. It has different goals, notes, it sections the day out by morning, afternoon, and nighttime, which I really like. And then again, Saturday and Sunday are kind of smaller, and then just little like gratitude. And if you need to put notes, like you have a birthday party coming up or something, like maybe this week you need to buy a gift for a party you have coming up this week. So in the next week box, you would write party for so-and-so, and then at some point you would know, hey, maybe I need to grab a gift. Then it goes down into the day format. Now I'll show you a day that I've actually written in to kind of break down what's going on here, but I love this little section. When you first look at it, obviously it says Monday, and then it gives you a place to what things are due. So if there's anything specific for work or school or anything that you really need to remember, you'll write those down and do. And then there's a gratitude section, which I really like every morning to come in and plan out my day, and then write a gratitude so that I'm thinking about that while I'm planning my day through. This is a to-do list right here, and just check little things off. I write all my different school assignments in different colors right here. That is another organizational tip I have for you, is to break down your classes in the easiest way possible. So whether that's writing in black and highlighting, or everything in black and then due dates and highlighted, or a different color or something like that, whatever works best for you, but this is what works best for me. And then over here it has a schedule, and it starts at 6 a.m. and it goes until 10 p.m. And I really like this layout. It is the longest time layout I've ever had on an agenda. It is just the right amount of space to write, and it still gives you a place to write to do. I like that because I would rather write down computer, homework, school, little simplified things, and then here be looking at the assignments I need to do versus having to write it all in one little box. So I really like this breakup right here. Then it has a B, L, and a D for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I don't utilize that as much as I should, but if you were to meal plan or meal prep, or you cook for your whole family or whatever, you and a spouse, this would be really helpful. I also really like down here, I am trying to get better at my water intake, and so filling in these little water bottles right here, they're just filled in right there. Again, it's all just filled out, everything's just, this planner works really well for me, so. An agenda doesn't necessarily mean it's restricted to paper. You could always find things online, like the notes in your phone, Google Calendar, or Outlook Calendar, depending on like what your school is using, what software. You can find a lot of different things online. You could even use a downloaded agenda on OneNote on your iPad. Whatever works for you. I have multiple places I use my agenda. I also use my phone's calendar to, when people ask me about events, I always write them down straight there, because I know that I'll look there before anywhere else, and then I put all my academic stuff in my Google Calendar and my agenda, and then on my desktop I have just my computer desktop thing that links with my phone, so those two things link, and I'll just go back in and put important academic things in there, and then big trips we're going on and things like that. So it's kind of sectioned out to keep my life separated but together at the same time, so I can kind of plan accordingly. My next big tip is to have a workspace versus a play space. And what I mean by this is, if you've ever struggled from insomnia, and you find yourself staying up at night on your phone, watching TV in bed, this is a really good hack for you. So what my doctor taught me when I was learning, kind of training my body to get into sleep mode, is that sleep mode needs to mean that all that happens in the bed is sleep. So you don't come down, you don't sit down, you don't read. You don't come in, you don't sit down and get on your phone. You don't come in, you don't sit down and get on the TV. That's not what the bed is for. The bed is for rest. And that's what you need to train your mind, is that when you walk into your bedroom and get on your bed, you're there to sleep, not there to play, hang out, talk, get on your phone, whatever it is that you typically do when you get in your bed. The same goes for workspace versus play space. Don't do your homework on your bed. Don't do your homework on the couch. Even if it means you don't have a desk or anything, if you just like face yourself against the wall and just make a little spot, it'll make a huge difference in your academic life, I promise, or your work life. So here's an overview of what my setup looks like right now. I currently just have this desk facing the wall, which is really nice because it's included in the living room, but it's facing its own wall in its little cove, so I'm kind of protected away from other distractions. Another really big tip that has just kind of surfaced in the education world recently is that you need to give yourself breaks when you're studying and you're doing work. I don't mean do 10 minutes of work, get up and spend 45 minutes walking around the house doing nothing or watching a YouTube video or whatever. I mean hardcore focus for an amount of time, and then give yourself 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how long you've just worked, time to relax. If you are working on a really big assignment that's, a 10-page paper, you're not going to sit down and do a 10-page paper in one sitting. And if you do, then you need some proofreading, because I'm telling you right now, there's no way you're writing that all in one sitting. What you need to do is really focus, have one specific task. If I was to write an English paper, if I was writing a research paper, I would say the next 20 minutes I'm going to focus on my introduction and my conclusion, and that's going to help me mold the rest of my paragraph, or the rest of my paragraphs, my essay, right? So what I'll do is I'll say, okay, you have 10 minutes to work on the intro, 10 minutes to think about the conclusion, and that doesn't mean in those 10 minutes those things have to be done and they're perfect, but you're really honing in on specific things. I promise it'll make your work time go faster, doing tasks seem easier, and it'll help you, get your stuff done in a time efficient manner. Another piece of advice I have is to plan. Plan. Wake up on Monday morning with the intention of, if I do not do any school or work today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get online, I'm going to look and see the things that I need to do, what my deadlines are for the week, and I'm going to write those down, and I'm going to be prepared for those deadlines. Even if you don't do anything else on Monday, actively getting up first thing, waking up, doing what you need to do. So like I would feed my animals and then go and check on what I need to do for the week. But if you just sit down, I promise you, A, it's going to make you realize your workload for the week. It's going to seem so much less stressful when you've prepared yourself for it. And B, it's just kind of nice in your brain to know, okay, if I need to pace myself in order to do these things in a timely manner, I need to do this by this date and this by this in order to reach all my deadlines this week. And it is very, very helpful. That also goes into play again with the agenda thing. I get up every Monday, I plan out my entire week. I look at my due dates, what I need to do for everything in my life, not just work, and really try to schedule my time so that I'm doing things efficiently, so that I have time to do the things I want to do, because that's what you're doing here. When you put off work, I feel like a lot of the times in order to put it off, you lay around, pretend you're being lazy, you're like, oh my gosh, I just want to take a nap. When in reality, you want to like play video games or film a video or go hang out with your friends or go play a board game or whatever you want to do. If you spend 20 minutes, planning your day out and knowing what you need to do, you don't have to stress about those things, and then your free time really becomes free time instead of feeling like you're still attached and connected to something that's going on elsewhere, but you're really not. Another piece of advice I would give for people as they're starting out at home is to plan to do 20 to 40 minutes of work every single day, no matter what you do. You can frame that as work, and that can be schoolwork, housework, whatever it is. But if you plan to do it to 20 to 40 minutes a day, those really big tasks that you think are going to take a long time become very minute when you only take 20 minutes out of your day. And it's very easy to get caught up in having a lot of things to do and, distracting yourself with the things that are in your house because you're comfortable and you're in an environment that you're very familiar with. So just keeping yourself on your toes and making sure that you are holding yourself responsible is the biggest key. So those are really my main tips for staying at home, making sure you're organized, keeping your space clean, pacing yourself, and giving yourself enough time to do the things that really matter. And at the end of the day, be kind to yourself. It is really hard to get stuck in a negative mindset when you're at home all the time and you're doing the same thing and it doesn't feel like you're getting anywhere or going anywhere, literally, because we're stuck in quarantine. But you just need to remember that every little thing you're doing now is going to add up to help you achieve those long-term, those big goals, just like how doing those little things for school or work are going to add up to help you get that big project. Doing those little daily routines, getting in the habit of doing things are really going to start helping you to become the person you're supposed to be. So just remember, be kind to yourself and stay happy. It's a hard time, but we're all in it together. So if you guys have any questions or you want me to do any other kind of videos, leave them in the comments below. Like I said at the beginning, if you guys want to subscribe, button's right down there. Check out the rest of my channel. I upload lifestyle vlog and travel videos. I hope you guys have a happy Tuesday and stay safe in quarantine.